Hello everyone, this is Kuldeep from Gestisoft and welcome to a new video on Business Central. Today I'm going to show you how you can process all of your recurring journals in the platform. I also did a video before on how to create journal entries. The link will be in the description below, so don't forget to go and watch that. Okay, so let's get started. First, what you're going to do is you're going to search recurring journal entries. There we have it. And this is where you are going to add all of your information for that specific recurring general entry that you are trying to create. So in the recurring method here, you're going to see we've got different options like fixed, variable, and so on. The fixed one is obviously for an amount that will stay the same from period to period, while the variable is for amount that will change from period to period, like for instance, a depreciation, which we are going to do an example for today. So I'm going to choose variable for this test that I'm doing right now. Now also always remember that your recurring frequency is very important that you put in your date codes to ensure that the system understands correctly what date you're trying to put. And I also did another video about using date codes in Business Central. The link is again in the description down below. Please go ahead and check it out, and then you may come back here again to understand how we are going to process recurring journals. So for this one, I'm going to say 1 month for the recurring frequency. So I'm just going to put 1M, but the thing here is I don't want it to be some difficulties when it comes to the month. Why I'm saying that? Because we've got February, and if February ends on the 28th or the 29th, I don't want then the next posting date to be on the 28th or the 29th of March. It has to be on the 31st of March. So it is always the last day. We always want the last day. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to write the formula, which is 1M plus CM, which is 1 month plus current month. This will now be taking into account the last day of the month, whether it is the 28th of February, the 29th of February, or the 30th or 31st of the other months. Now, it's also important for you to understand that the system will post lines that are equal or before the work date. So always make sure that the date that you are going to write here, your posting date, is the one that is equal or before to your system date. For right now, my system date is in 2026. So as you can see, I've written the line here. And then we've got the document type, which I usually leave it blank. You can choose to add the document type here if you want to, but I usually don't do it. Then we've got the document number. You can go ahead and write the document number here. I'm just going to do this for today. And then we've got the account type. Again, you've got options here that you can choose from. I'm going to choose a GL account because this is what I'm working with, but you can go ahead and choose any one of the following options. When it comes to the account number, what I'm going to do, I am just going to check for a depreciation account because this is what the example that I'm going to show you today. And why I'm also choosing to do the depreciation method is because I want to be able to link it to different departments in the company. So for allocation purposes, and I wanted to do that as well. So for instance, in this one, let's check if we've got, okay, we've got the accumulated depreciation for the operating equipment, which I'm going to select. And then you're going to scroll to the right and you will see here you've got your general posting type, the posting group, and so on. I usually don't again input any of this information, but you can go ahead and do that if you want to. And then when it comes to the amount, you can put in your amount here. But again, remember, this is a depreciation and it's a variable. So I'm going to put minus 20,000 because this is a credit amount that I am actually creating. And Once this is done, you will see, you can scroll to the right, you will see allocated amount here. Now, if you click on that, this is where you will be able to add different departments for that depreciation amount that we are creating. So in the account type, I'm again going to select the accumulated operating equipment. And then I'm also going to select the dimension, which I'm going to use here department. In the department value code, I'm going to use administration and I'm going to close. So you can see here, and it has taken into account the administration, but now you can also add the allocation quantity or the percentage. I'm going to do percentage here. So let's say we've got 50%, and you will see the system has already calculated the amount for you based on the percentage that you included. Now we can do another department here. So if we are going to do for the same option, but for this one, we are going to use another department. So let's say the department that we are going to use is a sales department, and we can put in the amount percentage. You will see it has now taken it. And you can go ahead and add any other departments here and associate it with the allocation quantity or the allocation percentage as you seem fit. Now, once this is done, I'm going to close it here, and you will see it has already added the allocated amount here. And the next thing that I wanted to show is the expiration date. Now, I won't be using the expiration date for this example, but you can go ahead and use it. It's mostly for accounts that are going to expire, for instance, at the end of the year, or for amounts that you are no longer going to pay and stuff like that. So transactions that are ending at a specific time, you can go ahead and put the expiration date. But for this one, I'm just going to leave it blank. Now, once you've done all of that, you can then click on post and click on yes, and you will see it has already posted. Now, if you want to check where it was posted, you can do so because it has been stored in the archive. And you will see here the amount is now to zero because everything has been processed in the recurring journal. Now, there's also something I wanted to show you before we move to the next part, which is posting date here. As you can see, the posting date has now changed for the next month because it was on the 30th of April. So now it's on the 31st of May. So this gives you an indication on the month-to-month changes that will be happening here. Now, let's search for the archive recurring journal. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the register, the GL register to be more specific. So this is the archive here, the GL registers. So if you click on the general ledger, you will be able to see the depreciation which has already been added here, and you can see the department, so administration and sales, which has already been added into the archive here and which has already been processed. So this is how you go about to add this and do it. And one more thing, if you can choose to correct dimensions here, if for instance there was a dimension that you added that was not the correct one, you can choose to do it here. So you can just click on correct dimension and it will ask you which dimensions you want to correct. And there you have it, guys. This is how you can process your recurring journal entries in Business Central. But it's not over because there's something else that I wanted to show you before we leave. I really wanted to give you another example on how we can process the recurring journals in Business Central. Right now, we've done the variable option. I also wanted to show you, for instance, if we do the reversing option. So let's say we've got the reversing fix. Now make sure here your date, you put in the correct date so that it's going to match when you are going to do your formula. So 1M plus CM. I've put in the April date because we are going to calculate for the April before we switch to May. And then the account number, let's say it's for electricity and heating. Okay, so this is electricity and heating. You can choose to delete those information if you don't want them. That's up to you. And then in the amount, I'm just going to write 500, for instance. And then I'm going to see the allocated here, but I have chosen to leave it blank for today. So once you've done all of that, you will be able to then click on post and yes, okay. You will see this is different. The amount will stay here after you've posted. It's not the same as variable because this is a fixed reversing, so the amount will stay the same. And again, if you want to check it, you can go into the archives. And if you try to post again, you will see that Business Central will tell you that there's nothing to post right now because there's no quantity or amount at the moment. So it has already processed everything that has to be processed in your recurring journals in Business Central. So this is how you go about to process your different recurring journal entries. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.